Hello and welcome to GOA365 Story Behind the Story. Now we've been hearing in the past weeks, even months, so many issues which are happening at the Panchayat level. There is a lot of, mega projects, word has come back again, then there are this noise pollution, festivals, lot of things that are happening and which mostly at the Panchayat level because it's erupting during the Gram Sabhas. But the issue here which has caught our attention is that most of the times the majority of the panchas as well as the Gram Sabhas, the people who come for the Gram Sabha or the locals from that village are not aware of what's happening in their own village. To discuss this, we have a panel of panchas, former panchas and people who have been involved in this Panchayati Raj, so as to say, just to see what exactly is happening and maybe what can be done to bring this once vibrant Gram Sabhas back on our Goan soil. To introduce this panel, I would start with Sortati D'Souza, one of the first people who have been into this Panchayati Raj, creating awareness. He's a former director of the Center for Panchayati Raj, Peaceful Society. He's a former panch. Sortati, welcome to our show. Second is Savyobab Kutino, former chairperson of the Marga Municipal Council. Savyobab, welcome to our show. Third is Balabab Naik, a former Sarpanch and Panch of Mandre village. Balabab, welcome to our show. And last but not the least, to give a outside perspective, is our reporter from Panjim, but Kurka. He's dabbled a little bit in politics, so as to say, in the Panchayat level politics. Vincent Bab Rosario, journalist. Now, Sortati, before we get into discussion, तू आता सांग आमकां ही पंचायती राज म्हणून कितें म्हणून आनी ग्राम सभा म्हणून कितें तें सांग म्हाका Sortati.
If I am to put it in simple terms.
Simple the better.
Before liberation, आमच्यो कोमनीदादी आसल्यो आनी कोमनीदादी सगळे गांवचे राजकारभार जमीन सगळे जे रिसोर्सेस आसले ते कोमनीदादीच्या हातून आसले आनी तेंचे त्या हातूंतल्यान आनी तातूंत कितें आहलें आनी एक वस्त जी पंचायत म्हणटा पळय ती इट्स दिस थिंग ऑफ 5 लीडर्स एल्डर्स ते जाणटे म्हणटाले ते आनी पेडण्यान पासून हांव जेन्ना 1984 पासून थेराखोला जाणटो म्हणून आहलो एक आनी सगळे तेन्ना वोटींग सुद्दां तेंची मिटींग जाताली आनी जाणटो आनी सगळे मेंबर घेताले बाळाक बरें खबर आसतली आनी थंय डिसिजन जाता ते दॅट वूड बी द डिसिजन ऑफ ऑल द पीपल ऑफ तेराखोल सो यू हॅड दीस जाणटेस 5 this Panchayati Raj is a concept from North India basically, okay, and here you had 10 jan ani kite in all this Fonda area, this 10 jan. So these were the what do you call that, the elders of the village, and people trusted them. They were above every bias. They worked in the interest of the village. Now after liberation and in 1992, after that 93 and all, the panchayats came into force because they were all India, and since we were liberated, so we didn't have an act as such, but you had regulations, the Goa Panchayats rules and regulations. So it functioned there until that 73rd amendment came in 1992. After that, in 1994, the Panchayat Act was made, and there was a big history with that. The government was hesitating even to put an act together until the central government cracked a whip and said, we will stop all your grants till you put this in place. Now panchayats are basically nothing but the local communidades which managed the affairs of the village. In the same way, the panchayats now, or you talk in the urban areas, is the municipalities.
Yeah, that's what I'm being serving.
Yeah, these are local self-governments. Okay. After the central government, and you have the state governments. These are the local services, the third tier of governance in democracy. So the whole thing is that the central government cannot what you call that, percolate and know everything on the ground. They can make the general thing, what you call the laws or whatever this thing they need. The state government also, okay, it has certain limitations. Who knows best what is the village and all? It is the locals who stay there.
Okay, I'll stop you here because this is the point that exactly what we are discussing about. Savyabha, आता urban areas, and now what Sauter said, like people, governments and state governments and MLA don't know exactly what's happening on the ground. But today, since the time you were chairperson and now, what do you see?
No.
I'll bring Bala in because right now Bala is in the Sarko in the eye of the storm. But before that,
basically,
I want to
as
know.
Sauter had said, Panchayat or municipality, local bodies, this was the decentralized form of governance basically. It was the ideology of Gandhi if you go through history, understand, no? And it was Gram Swaraj. It was in terms of Gram, means self-reliance first of all, and that particular village had to manage their affairs independently basically. But today what we see, whether it is at the municipality or at the Panchayat, they have come up now lately in 2020 something like E-Swaraj, E-Gram Swaraj. So when you say E-Gram Swaraj and all the other things that come along with it, they show the tag, this thing, the label on it is to have transparency, accountability, all that stuff. But the other integrities which are there in it makes the Panchayat, have nightmares basically going through that. Means we have to so much of details, and imagine now in Goa at least our Panchayats, our Panch members are much better. You can imagine what happens in other remote areas, remote villages in the country. So finally what happens is that though the Panchayat or the municipality is supposed to be for the locals, to be managed by the locals, a self-reliant system, here again the interference of politicians, the MLAs, ministers, it comes into it. Because what happens with all this stuff, all these rules basically, the local politician, the MLA or the minister, they maneuver through their agents. And who are the agents? Their secretary, the chief officer. Well, through them they have their way. And finally the Panchayats have to rely on the local MLA or the minister. They have no other option. Otherwise nothing moves. One minute. So that will also agree to us. The entire politics is played on the word may and shall. Understood? May and shall.
No, I'll just add one more thing to it. See, village local self-governance involves 3 Fs. Basically, the functions, they should be clearly listed and devolved. Okay. Second is the finances. Okay. For all those functions that are devolved, the finances should.
This will do a discussion in detail.
And the third is the functionaries.
Yeah. This will do a discussion in detail. बरोबर आता सावेव आणि सॉटरान कितें म्हणलां ते पहिले कितें क्वेश्चन जातले आता कितें आहा पहिले एटलीस्ट आमी आशिल्ले लायक ड्युरिंग द मेगा प्रोजेक्ट एज्युटेशन ग्रामसभा सारकी हुनहुनीत आशिल्ली इंटरेस्टिंग आशिल्ली आता कितें चल्लां आता तुम्ही बॉब मारया तुमकां आयकोता बॉब मार ते जाता ते कितें जालां एक्झॅक्टली एट द पंचायत लेवल एक्चुअली ते पंचायत आनी ग्रामसभा आनी आमकां लोकांक कितें जाय तें कोत्ता वो कोणाक कितें जाय तें कोत्ता अकॉर्डिंग टू यू.
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हांव आमच्या सॉटर बाबान सांगला तशें पयलींच्या काळान जे म्हाका दिसता तुमच्या भुरगेपणा अशें आसतलें त्या टायमार जेन्ना एक आमचो एक जाणटो खंय विलेजीन एका झाडा पोंदा बसप आनी कसलोय इश्यू आसा विलेजीचो तेन्ना सगळे जाणटे आमी बसताले जाणटे तेन्ना आनी तेन्ना एक डिस्कशन जातालें की कितें करचें आनी एकटोच मनीस असो आसतालो ही वील टेक तो लीड घेतालो आनी तेच्या बरोबर सगळे बाकीचे जाणटे बसताले आनी तो कितें डिसिजन घेतालो पळय आनी ते डिसिजन गांव इम्प्लिमेंट करतालो म्हणजे त्या टायमार एक होल्ड आसलो म्हणजे थंय कोणाचोच इन्वॉल्वमेंट नासलो. हांव आमच्या सावय बाबाचे सुद्दां सहमत आसा की आयज जे कितें चल्लां पळय पंचायतीन खंयचोय जो सरपंच बसता पंचायतीन तेचेर एक लोड आसता. लोड असो आसता की वेदर तो जर गांवा बरोबर गेलो जाल्यार तुका रुलींग MLA तेका कितें जाय पळय तें जायना जाल्यार तो तुका काडून उडयता. जर तूं MLA बरोबर गेलो जाल्यार तुजो गांव उद्ध्वस्त जाता. वेदर इट इज बरें काम असलें जाल्यार गांव MLA बरोबर हांव येता पण ते काम जे MLA जो येता पळय घेवन ते कशें येता की वयरसून म्हाजेर दबाव येयला ही फायल पास जावंकूच जाय. खुबश्यो गोश्टी आसतल्यो आतां तुमी फाटल्या दिसांनी पळयला आसतले बरे मेगा प्रोजेक्ट आसा विलेजर ऑपोज करतात पण काही जे पंचायत बॉडी आसा पळय ते खंय तरी MLA किंवा मिनिस्टर आनी हायर जे लेवल आहात पळय तेंच्या दबावाक लागून तांकां तें काम कृत्य करचें पडटा. सो हांव म्हणटा कितें जेन्ना आमकां गांवांनी जेन्ना निवडून हाडटात की गांव तुजो सुरक्षीत आनी संरक्षण करपाक लागून त्या टायमार म्हाका तर म्हाजें ओपिनियन कित्याक आय एम सॅल्यूट टू ऑल माय पंचायत मेंबर्स 11 की टील डेट म्हाका दिसता आमी खंयच जो रुलींग MLA असो नाल्यार एनी खंयचोय मंत्री असो जे गांवाच्या विरोधात जर आमकां जर एक रेजोल्युशन घेवपाक जर सोदता जाल्यार आमी केन्ना आयज पर्यंत त्याच्या केन्नाच सपोर्टाक वचूंक ना. जे गांवांक कितें जाय त्या गांवा बरोबर आमी आयज पर्यंत रावले. सो त्याच नुसार हांवें दोगांयचे हेंचे सहमत आसा की हांगा आयज जे कितें मेगा प्रोजेक्ट येवपाचें कारण कितें की खंय तरी MLA आपली पंचायत घडयता आनी पंचायत जेन्ना घडयता म्हणटकच जे काही गोष्टी आसात जे मेगा प्रोजेक्ट आसता कितें जे गांवाचे आतां लोक आतां इश्यूज घेवन आसात कित्याक लोकांक खंय तरी ते जड वयता लोकांक नाका ते आनी ते गोष्टी जेन्ना हे घडटात पळय ते घडटा पळय ताका खंय तरी रुलींग MLA किंवा मंत्री हाका जबाबदार आसता. सो आमी एज अ लोकल पंच किंवा पंचायत बॉडी आमचें कर्तव्य आसा आमी ग्रासरूट लेवलाचेर काम करतात. आमी स्थानिक स्वराज्य म्हणटा ही पंचायत जी आसा पळय ती खंयच्याय प्रायवेट संस्थेची न्हू. ही पंचायत जी आसा पळय ती विलेजरांची लोकल जे ग्रामस्थांचे म्हणजे ग्रासरूट लेवल म्हणजे कितें जे लोकांचे उदक लायट शेती शिक्षण एड्युकेशन हे आमी पळोवचें आसता. MLA कितें आसता म्हाका दिसता गोंयान MLA खंयच्या दारोदारी पावता म्हाका दिसता महाराष्ट्रान अशे MLAs पावना लोकांच्या दारा. सो आमचें कर्तव्य आसा MLA पावून सुद्दां आयज अशें चल्लेलें आहा मांद्रे विलेजीन तुमी पयले आसतले आयज कशे सद्या आमी जे विलेजर्स भोगतात ते आयज स्वता हांव एज अ सरपंच आसलो 6 म्हयने जेन्ना हांव लोकांची गांवकारांची लोकांची कामां जेन्ना घेवपाक येयलो तेन्ना आयज पंचायत राज एक्टान अशे अमेंडमेंट येयल्ले आहात जेन्ना आमी खंयची फायल जर कोणाची आमी पास करपाक जर फुडें सरता किंवा भायर रिजेक्ट करपाक सोदता थंयसर अशे सेक्शनां जाल्ले आसतात अमेंडमेंट जाल्ले आसात नवे आता ह्या 5 वर्सांत जर पळोवपाक गेल्यार ऑल टुगेदर पंचायत इन द हँड ऑफ MLA रुलींग पार्टी.
तेच विन्संट बाब आता पंचायत तुम्ही आता पळयता आता कितलेच इश्यू आयल्या कितलेच लायक हिल कटिंग आनी नांवां ही सगळी एक्चुअली कितें आहा तें वॉट इज गूड फॉर द पीपल तें जायना. तुमी हें पळयलां जाता जायना वी वील गो इन टू डिटेल्स अमेंडमेंट मागीर बट तुमी हें पळयलां इज इट हॅपनिंग ऑन अ रेग्युलर बेसीस.
हे सारकें आतां तुमी तर हांव आतां चडशें कवर करता म्हणजे सगळेच म्हणल्यार जाता तिसवाडींतल्यो पंचायती कवर करता. सो तूं तिसवाडींतल्योच पंचायती तर पळयत आनी तिका तर पळयत जाल्यार तिका आतां 2 पॅनलां जाल्लीं आसता. म्हणजे पॅनलां म्हणल्यार एक MLAची पॅनल आसता तिका आनी आतां जरी तर तिका MLAचे पॅनल ना रुलिंगान जाल्यार तिका ऑपोजिशन हेचो आमचे दुसऱ्या MLAचे वो एक्स MLAचे कोणाचे तर पॅनल आहा इन रुलींग. सो आनी रुलींग MLAचे तर पॅनल ना जाल्यार तिका एक असो ग्रूप क्रिएट जाता जस्ट टू डिस्टर्ब द ग्राम सभा. हे अशें जाल्लें आहा आनी हे सगळेच आमचे तिसवाडींतले पंचायतीन पळयत जाल्यार तूं पळयत जाल्यार ते सगळेच पंचायतीन तशेंच जाल्लें आहा. सो कशें कितें तर न्यू प्रोजेक्ट कितें येवपाचें आनी लोकांक तर नाका जाल्यार ते अशें हें करता ते रिजोल्युशन घेवच्या आदी तिका कितें डिस्टर्बन्स हें करता वो कितें हें पंचायत बंद करची पडटा सरपंचाक बा जरी तर सरपंच ऑपोज आहा जाल्यार प्रोजेक्ट जाल्यार आनी मागीर ते ऑटोमॅटीक ते फुंयच्यान ते सर्टन टायमा भितर ताका ते पास करचे पडटा नाजाल्यार ते ऑटोमॅटीक थ्रू द TCPचे हेचे प्रमाणे ते पास करता. सो अशें तुका पळयत जाल्यार सगळे पंचायतीन जाल्लें आहा ना जाल्यार एक सरपंच तर बरो हे आहा जे सरपंचाक तर जाय आपणाक जाय आनी सरपंचाचे तर जे बिल्डर आहा जाल्यार थोडे पंचायतीन अशें जाल्लें आहा सरपंचाचोच एक ग्रूप येता आनी तो ग्रूप तिका डिस्टर्बन्स हें करता आनी मागीर तिका लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सामकी हें जायना लॉ एंड ऑर्डरीचे मागीर तिका प्रॉब्लम जाता. सो अशें हेंच पळय जाल्यार म्हाज्याच एक्सपिरियन्सान हिंगा तिसवाडीचे सगळेच पंचायतीन तशें जाल्लें आहा. सो खंयचीच पंचायत तुका सारकी ऑपरेट जायना अनलेस यू आर नॉट अ सपोर्टर ऑफ द MLA रुलींग MLA or ruling party.
Sorter Bob, okay, we just before I go to Sorter, we'll go in for a small break. Keep watching GOA365 and see you on the other side. Hello and welcome back. Sorter Bob, just before the break, आमी उलयताले विन्संटान सांगलें डिस्ट्रप्शन हें आता. Now म्हाका एकूच इश्यू हा पंचायत ग्राम सभास आर मेंट फॉर द पीपल लोकांक लागून. सो आता इतलेच आसा आता एक म्हयनो पयलो खूब इश्यू काडलेले दॅट कन्वर्शन जाताले, ब्लेटंट कन्वर्शन, हे सडनली एक इश्यू जालो अबाउट सान फ्रान्सिस्कोचो इश्यू जालो आनी तो आतां ते ब्लेटंट वॉट एवर इज हॅपनिंग ते इलिगल ते सगळे बंद जाले. आतां ना एवरीबडी इज बिझी विथ एक्सपोजिशन आनी एवरीबडी मागीर ते क्रिसमस जाता, न्यू इयर जाता, पेपर गोंयकार वाचना, पेपरान सदां येता दीस so and so this has been due to some, this has been converted, this has been this is so what are गोंयकार आतां इतले हे जाले आमकां ते आर नॉट कन्सर्न अबाउट. आतां भुतानी इतले बॉब मारलेले 2 दीस जाले भुतानी आनी भूत येयले, कोण जाले भुतानी सगळ्यांक नाच करून उडयले. नॉर्थ गोवान हिंगा कारापूर हे ते खूब इश्यू आसा, बट अल्टिमेटली कोणाक पाडे? गोंयकारांक पाड न्हू. सो वी आर सो फिकल दॅट वी कॅन बी डिस्ट्रॅक्टेड सो इजिली. सॉर्टर बाब आतां तुमी 5 जाल्ले, आय रिमेंबर तुमी मातशी एज्युटेशन चालू केली, खूब एज्युटेशन चालू केली सुकोरण बुकोरण. आतां ती गोंयकारां लागून पंचायत कोणा लागून आसा आतां ते तुमी सांगा. आतां
पयले स्वतेर जें कितें जाता न्ही तातूंत दोनूय लोक दोशी आसा अशें म्हणूंक शकता हांव. एके वाटेन लोक आनी दुसरे वाटेन हे पॉलिटिशनाचे हें कितें आसा ते आपणे फुडले इलेक्शन जिखपाचे ते कितेंय करूंक शकता, तांकां लोकांचे पडलेले ना. सो दे गो टू एनी एक्सटेंट. ओके, बट द पीपल हॅव टू अंडरस्टँड ओके दॅट आय हॅव टू हॅव माय ओन डिग्निटी.
let me interrupt. Now if you are saying the politician is कांयच कितेंच करूंक शकता जिखपाक, करेक्ट ना? I don't agree. If that is the case, then the politician has to keep the people happy. He is not concerned about the people. So why is it that it is happening?
No,
you tell me one thing. Sakwal सगळे लोक भायर सरल्या.
See,
You mean to say that MLA is not going to
भायर
because he went against the people?
लोक भायर सरला म्हणून ते MLAचे हे कितें जातले तिल्ले तो आनीक भोवमतान निवडून
अरे that's my point. So लोकांक ते
No. See, let me complete one thing.
हांगा सेम इश्यू आता लेटेस्ट हांगा चल्ला. हांव स्वता आसलो सनबर्न जो दारगळ विशय ओपोज करपाक हांवूय आसलो थिंगासर. आता जेन्ना आमकां एक पेडणेकारांक थंयसर सनबर्न नाका, ग्राम सभेक जे ग्राम सभा म्हणजे कशी म्हाका सरान सांगला तशी ग्राम सभा ही ग्रामस्थांची सगळ्या विलेजीची. जेन्ना त्या ग्राम सभेक एक आमी एक ठराव घेता, कितें घेता की हो सनबर्न आमकां नाका,
येता सनबर्न ऍडव्हर्टिजमेंट झाला.
ऐकून घ्या, जेन्ना रेझोल्युशन जाता ग्रामस्थांच्या वतीन रेझोल्युशन जाता, सरपंच बसता त्या रेझोल्युशनान, सगळे पंच मेंबर आसात आणि तो रेझोल्युशन युनॅनिमसली जेन्ना पास जाता
MLA is also doesn't want.
हय, आणि ती रेझोल्युशन जावन जेन्ना तो मॅटर जेन्ना सनबर्नाक एक खंयचो प्रोजेक्ट प्रोपोनंट परमिशनाक मागता त्या टायमार ते रेझोल्युशन अभियंसन म्हणजे काळोखान दवरून ही पंचायत बॉडी आयज आमची धारगळ थंयसर एक इश्यू करता प्रोविजनल लायसन. एक्चुअली ग्रामसभेचे जे पंचायत राज एक्टान कितें बरयल्लें आसा, एवरी डिसिजन एवरी रेझोल्युशन पास इन द ग्राम सभा इट इज लायबल आणि एका सरपंचान ते एक्झिक्युशन करचें आसता आणि ते त्यांना अडॉप्ट
कंपल्सरी बालाबा
interrupted me.
It should not be contrary to
I was
on this point.
Fortunately, we had a very good director of Panchayat,
At that time.
late Mr. G.G. Kamli.
Yeah, that time.
Okay,
I think
and that particular section in the Panchayat Act was amended later in 1998 because of me and what Director G.G. Kamli saw happening in Sukur, where every Gram Sabha resolution was thrown out of this. So there he put that clause, they passed an amendment, he moved the file and all to the law department and all, and this amendment. So I know the whole history of it. So there is a clause, but it is with a rider, provided that it is not in contravention of any other laws in force. So I was coming to this. The Gram Sabha is a village parliament.
Supposed to be.
Okay. Now our what do you call that? Vidhan Sabha, Lok Sabha. They function within a framework. So you have a speaker. Here the convener is the sarpanch or the deputy in his absence. And if you check the Panchayat Act under section 6, there are what are the functions of the Gram Sabha very clearly. So it's not only issues, and here the problem is. So for several years, for the last 1 decade, I am shouting Gram Sabha is not a washing machine for issues. Okay, it has other functions. Like Bala will agree with me. Number one is making the plans,
Village plan.
vetoing the plans. Okay, now as Mr. Savio was saying, you have all these e-Swaraj and all very fanciful terms. Who is drawing the, what you call that, boundaries of these plans? It's coming from central government or from state government. You have to plan within this. Now every village, the needs may differ. You go to the urban
top
area,
down म्हणता तो वयरसून येता सगळे.
everything, it is framed. Under 14th Finance Commission, you have to approve either from this. What if I don't want all
Question
this?
paper A, B, C.
Yes,
Mark one.
and they are calling that. That is not the thing. Secondly, so when again, so in the every year you have the agenda in the
Correct.
in the
Panchayat.
panchayat this,
Correct.
and then you have your chance to come with your suggestions
Yeah.
or whatever amendments you want to bring.
Yes, yes.
Okay, we have to understand that it is not a legislative body; it's a deliberative body, and unless the functions are devolved by a state notification. See, this is where the misguidance has taken place, and unfortunately certain dharma gurus also have been what do you call that, inciting people. So panchayat under schedule 11 of the constitution you have all the powers. Those powers are not devolved, and as I was saying, the 3 F's are not devolved. So you have
Explain now those 3 F's what you're saying.
yeah, so that is first of all the functions have to be devolved. Then for those functions the government has to allot finances. That is allotted every year in the state budget. So you have a panchayat window or a municipal window, and there every panchayat, before that you will submit your plans, your budget to the government through the Zilla Panchayat and all, and then they will put it in the budget. So it's done in Kerala. It was done
Many
in
other
Kerala.
places,
Yes.
not only Kerala.
So you know, the sarpanch knows, Baba mujhe itle funds asa. It is not the this thing of the MLA and the minister to decide as per the files I will give this or not give this. Secondly,
Yeah, but it's happening, no?
it is happening.
Right,
So
conversation.
we and see, the problem is if I speak, I may land up like one of the IS officer who spoke in Betalbati. She was made a fool, but I apologize on behalf of the Gram Sabha. What she was talking was sense.
What is that?
Okay.
Samar.
No, she tried to tell the Gram Sabhas, see, you coming
Tell
and
what?
making a noise here about mega projects and all these things, okay, you need to take this noise to the legislature.
Stop. Hold. Savio, tell you one thing. Now what he is saying is not what is happening in Goa. बरं तुमका आठव सावे बाब ऐक आमचे मरे लोक खूंय येता आमचे एक्टिविस्ट आहा खूब थोडे फ्रेंड आहा थोडे एनिमी आहा थोडे आय डोंट नो सगळ्याक वयता बट वयता थिंगा मातशे एक दोन तीन विन्सडाक फोन मारतले नाल्यार डिलनाक फोन मारतले नाल्यार ते प्रुडंटाचे 2-3 जाणे फोन मारतले 20-30 जाण लोक थंयचो करता आनी हे ते करता कांय जायना वयता द पॉलिटिशियन्स आर नॉट बॉदर्ड अबाउट इट. Is all these strikes and press conferences and going on the road is of any help when ultimately election time you vote for the same people again faydo kite they know tenka vote kotale म्हणून.
One sad part, if you notice, in all the agitations, all the protests going on account of
Now you stop suddenly because of exposition.
No, 1 minute. See, if you notice, all the protests which are going on account of certain projects, wherever it may be.
Yes.
You may notice that the local people, very few are participating. It's a sad
Correct.
thing. It's a very sad thing.
My
For a
point, same point I made, no?
For a very simple reason is that they don't want to be in bad books with their MLA, local MLA or the local politician.
So that means
Which
Goa
is-
is gone.
which is-
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
See, what happens is that like outside
Majority, it's not about majority. I agree with you, by the way, sort of.
Yeah. See, people
Not
from
necessarily.
outside have to come and support them. Now in
Outside?
means from other places. They come for, in
other
case
parts
of,
of
other
Bhutan.
parts of Goa. Now in case of Bhutan, incident that was under discussion. There, people from all over South Goa, you can say, were seen there. Now, how they were manipulating the things? See? The notice, the panchayat, at the instructions of politicians, most naturally. That the notice, you may not have seen the notice. I have read the notice. The notice that was issued to Bhutani. Can you imagine what was the notice? It was a letter saying that so and so this thing was discussed in the meeting and so resolution was taken. I enclose here with the resolution copy, and this is the notice. Can you imagine such a notice? Can such a notice hold good in court of law? This is how they manipulate, and people were happy. Notice Dadley.
Wait.
1 minute. I'm not
okay.
finished. I'm not.
Okay.
Secondly, when we come to panchayats, sarpanches, panches, councillors, chairperson. Today, what is their status? They hardly have any role. Everything has been taken over by either the chief officer or the secretary. In panchayat, now 47D has come. Under that 47D, Sarpanch has hardly any role. He cannot even sign the approval of the files or anything. He is left with income certificate and residence certificate. That is the.
So one second. In olden days, Sagwad म्हटलं Sagwad क्या घरा पाऊस इतलेच काम. सरपंच.
My question is
सरपंच इज नाव आताच्या दिसांनी जरा सरपंच तो फक्त इन्कम आणि रेजिडेंटवर साइन मारून
पहिले जाल कितें पहिले सरपंचाचेर पंचायतीचेर कंप्लेन जाताली की दे आर हॅरेसिंग म्हळ्यार ते एक दुयेंस आसा एक दुयेंस म्हणून सो वखद म्हण कितें काडलें फायल पंचायत येवपास टावन प्लॅनिंग वचपाचें
टाउन प्लॅनिंग
या डायरेक्ट टावन प्लॅनिंग आता हे वखद जे आसलेलें ते वीक जावपाक लागलें इट इज मोर देन वर्स देन पॉयझन
खरेंच आमच्या साळवे बाबान सांगला तशें हे जे पावर्स आसा हे टोटल जे पंचायतीचे हांवें पयलीं तुमकां सांगलेले ते ह्या इश्यूचेर जेन्ना खंयची फायल येयली पंचायत राजान खंयचे कोण प्रोजेक्ट खंयचो आसो तो वेदर विला आसूं नाल्यार आनी कितें बंगलोच आसूं ती फायल जेन्ना तो इन्वॉल्व करता आनी खंयचो प्रोजेक्ट प्रोपोनंट आहा पळय ही इज रेडी टू फायट बिकॉज जे पंचायतीन जे नवे नवे जे कायदे येयल्यात आतां जे अमेंडमेंट केल्ले आसा एक म्हटल्यार तेंच्यांनी जो सरपंचाचो पावर आसलो सिग्नेटरींग ऑथॉरिटी ती सगळी जी ऑथॉरिटी आहा पळय ती सेक्रेटरीक दिल्ली आहा ओके
And secretary is a government servant controlled by the
मिनिस्टर्स आणि कशें आसा मांद्रे पंचायतीच्या इतिहासान ह्या 2 वर्सां 2022 जेन्ना नवी पंचायत आमची बसली म्हाका दिसता जवळ जवळ 5 सेक्रेटरी चेंज जाल्यात वाय हेची चवकशी करपाची गरज आसा सेकंड पॉयंट आतां मेन म्हटल्यार इम्पॉर्टंट इश्यू आसा जेन्ना खंयचीय फायल येता पंचायतीचेर ती येयल्या बरोबर आमकां ती डिसायड करची पडटा विदीन 30 days ओके जर ती आमी डिसायड करूंक ना जाल्यार तो अल्टिमेटली ना तो अपील कोर्टाक वयता खंय बिडिओन वयता आनी बिडिओची ऑर्डर आसा पळय दॅट इज फायनल ऑर्डर असो सेम एक इन्सिडंट जाला एक व्हडलें एक एस्टाब्लिशमेंट ताका आमी लोकांचे ग्रिवियन्स खूब असले इश्यूज असले आमी ती फायल लिगल ओपिनियनाक धाडली जो आमचो लिगल एडवायझर आहा ताका लिगल ओपिनियनाक धाडली थंयच्यान आमकां ओपिनियन येवंक ना मातसो लेट जालो सो तो इमिजिएटली बिडिओन गेलो बिडिओन अपील केली आमचो एडवोकेट गेलो आमच्या फेवरान जाली पंचायतीच्या फेवरान ऑर्डर दुसरे दिसा ताणी अपील केली 4 दिसां भितर आमकां नोटीस येयली डायरेक्टरा पंचायती कडच्यान 8 दिसां भितर ऑर्डर पास आनी सेक्रेटरीक दिल्यार 3 दिसां भितर ती
Okay, my point
विषय तोच आसा इम्पॉर्टंट आता हे मेगा प्रोजेक्ट येता आता पेडण्या तालुक्यात जे आता लँड कन्वर्जन जाला लॅक्सांनी क्रोड्सांनी जाला ते सेटल जाल्या हे कित्याक लागून जाल्या बिकॉज दे नो पंचायत कांयच करू शकना आमी फाटल्या दिसांनी आमी स्वता प्रत्येक पंचायतीचो जो सरपंच अलॉंग विथ द पंचायत बॉडी विथ द सगळे पिपल्स ते फुडें सरताले स्क्रॅप करपाक हे जे प्रोजेक्ट येतात पळय हे जे सेटलमेंट कित्याक जाता बिकॉज हे
I'll come back. I just have to go for out Sozmola. That's म्हणटा. That is why. So who is telling the people to go and attack the panchayat when the panchayat cannot? That is the point of my discussion. Anyway, we will take this. Thing. We have to go in for a short break. It's very interesting because today I don't know whether it is being pushed by the ruling politicians or the opposition politicians just to diffuse matters. First is they say, okay, go and attack the sarpanch and the panchayat. When the panchayat cannot do anything, everything is with the government, with the MLAs is with the government, and the people are not willing to speak against that. Second thing also, if that doesn't work, if people come out again, then you do some other distraction and some other issue comes up. These are the things that we need to discuss in the second part of this episode. Keep watching GOA365.